People like the grifter-in-chief Trump and President Musk are openly using their public offices to enrich themselves to the tune of billions of dollars.
He paints a picture of the president as a low-life businessman whose only interest is to enrich himself. But given at least 2 assassination attempts on his life and relentless attacks on his character since stepping into the political realm, it's hard for many people to come to terms with this portrayal. Would all of that sacrifice be worth it for a low-life grifter? Aren't there easier grifts? It doesn't quite add up. So a level of cognitive dissonance is required to accept this image of him. There's more that doesn't really make sense. Like, for example, if you consider that Trump is the only president to forego his presidential salary of $400,000 per year, donating $1.2 million to different charities during his first term instead, when every other president has happily taken the money for themselves. And then similar goes for Elon Musk. He's doing apparently 120-hour work weeks for no salary. Would someone sacrifice so much of themselves, their time, their own resources to something without a mission-driven, meaningful motive that is more than just a grift?
So if we want to look at waste, fraud, and abuse, which I'm down to do, why is there complete silence on the other side of the aisle about looking at the complete grifter that is the president of the United States and the richest man on the earth, which is looking into things like Social Security and different things like that?
He uses the word grifter again. He wants to reinforce that mental association with Trump in your mind. The richest man on earth has been one of the most popular catchphrases for the left in recent times. It's a new phrase they never shouted before when billionaires like George Soros, Jeff Bezos, or Bill Gates influence politics, but they care now.
Why don't we investigate the real corruption?
Hold off.
The real corruption. He's changing the narrative. He's shifting attention away from where it's focused now. The fraudulent spending of the government agencies isn't real corruption. The real corruption is the newly inaugurated president and Elon. But his point is confusing. How have all the government's ties with Big Pharma occur? How did political warfare occur? How does the war industry continue to thrive? How did health of Americans decline, yet healthcare costs increase? And how did racism persist, homelessness increase under decades of Democrat rule, if they were so truly advocating for positive change? All of these corrupt practices have been occurring seemingly endlessly before, but Frost insists that the real corruption is the 2 new guys coming in and trying to make a change. Some supporters of Trump and Doge may argue, what do 2 businessmen have to gain from stealing from a $36 trillion deficit government on the road to economic collapse? Surely an economic collapse would actually be a detriment to these 2 businessmen. Surely it's more in their interest that the economy thrive, that the fraud against the government stops. Surely it benefits them more to try to prevent the economic collapse that America is heading towards due to fraud. Arguably, it's likely that what is beneficial for these 2 businessmen and their families also happens to be beneficial for the public as well. But the same can't be said for the politicians whose entire career is dependent on making money off of corrupt practices within the government.
Point of order.
I reclaim my time.
Point of order.
Mr. Chairman, point of order.
Hold off. There was a point of order when you said something. Who asked for it? Mr. Higgins, would you like to revise your remark with respect to improperly identifying the President of the United States?
I'll say President Musk and grifter-in-chief Trump.
All right.
Grifter-in-chief
Hey, Mr.
This is another one of the Democrats' latest catchphrases. President Musk and his sidekick Trump. What this tells us is that Frost believes it's possible for a president to not really be president at all, only in name, to merely be a puppet. There's a shocking irony in his accusation when backdropped against the Democrats' puzzling silence when it came to the Biden administration, as Biden showed clear symptoms of dementia, it's common knowledge, the public knows that Biden wasn't running the show. They don't know who was. The Democrats were harrowingly silent on this at the time. They had no problems with this. Frost's accusations actually reveal him. They reveal that he views the presidency as something that can be controlled by another person with money, can be merely a puppet.
Mr. Chairman, point of order.
Wait a second.
If I wanted to challenge someone to a fight, they would know it. Thank you.
Chairman, if
President,
Mr. Musk
called
actually
him the-
came here,
what?
then maybe the rules
All right.
of the committee
I heard
would
no
apply to
disparagement
him.
of the-
I'll say something else.
We'll save a lot of time.
I'll say something else.
Okay, all right. We're going to let Chair recognize Mr. Frost. You still have 3:49. You're going to maybe revise the disparaging comment about the president because that's supposed to be our decorum here. And
It is supposed to be. President Musk and the President of the United States, Donald Trump, who is engaged in grifting of the American people, often use their public offices to enrich themselves. Someone on the other side was just asking, how would you
Point of
feel
order,
if you
Mr.
called
Chairman.
someone else from the
hold
other?
off, Mr. Frost. Hold off.
He was given a third warning, but he wants to show his defiance. He feels entitled to let the world know that he does not respect the rules or the proper decorum expected of his position. He feels justified breaking the rules because it's for the greater good. His wrongdoings are justified because, as he says, the president is a grifter and a puppet. Frost began by creating a narrative of a low-life president, and now he can paint himself as a hero standing up against that president. Again, if one has researched anything into Biden, the irony is jarring, but it's not a coincidence. Frost knows that he's accusing the opposition of the very thing that his party has been doing for years.
There's a pending motion for disparaging the president.
I will say the president's grifting because you spent the last 2 years
All
saying
right.
President
Take
Biden
down
was corrupt.
his words.
I can say that Trump is
motion-
grifting.
Frost justifies his inappropriate behavior by blaming Trump. Trump said Biden is corrupt. Therefore, Frost believes he is now entitled to defy decorum and repeatedly call the president a grifter. In his mind, he's allowed to do something wrong. He's allowed to defy the expectations of his role because someone else did something that he views as wrong. But Frost decided what wrong is. It doesn't matter if others view it differently. He sees his view as fact. And what this tells us is that any moral expectations of his role he views as dismissible under the justification that Trump did something he disagreed with in the past. Meaning we have no idea what other moral expectations of his role Frost sees as dismissible by his own justifications. There are two ways that people react to perceived wrongdoing. One, when facing what they perceive as bad, will stand for good. Another, when facing what they perceive as bad, will stoop lower if they need to and justify it. Frost lives by the latter, so in what ways is he putting this into practice within his role in the government?
What I will withdraw
Remember-
is calling him grifter in chief. That is what I
The
will
chair
withdraw.
sustains the point of order, and the words in question are ordered stricken from the transcript of this proceeding. So the member is barred from further participation.
Crockett.
Insulting people's appearance as well as trying to fight them isn't a problem.
Point of order. It's a yes or no.
But we're so
Yes,
sad
No.
Yes or
Order.
no? Yes or
that
no?
our
Yes or no?
little leader.
Just skip her.
We're so
Skip her.
sad.
Skip her. You're
My
skip her.
voter.
Go to the
Order.
next one. Go to the next
The
one.
MSNBC anchor.
Go to the next one. Don't count that. Go to the next one.
Ms. Randall votes no. Mr. Subramaniam. Mr. Subramaniam votes no.
I want to say it's despicable that this committee is going to silence me for bringing
The
up
gentleman's
Trump's-
words have been
Mr.
taken
Frost,
down. He is not
Mr.
permitted
Frost.
to speak for the rest of the hearing.
making millions of dollars.
Mr. Frost, Mr. Ranking Member, I'm going to have the Sergeant at Arms remove him if he doesn't refrain.
He can use this to further his narrative of an oppressed hero, After multiple warnings, defied decorum and eventually facing repercussions, now he can leave with the narrative of a victim of a dictatorship, unfairly treated. But I wonder if someone on the Republican side had acted the way that Frost did here, what would Frost have said about them? Hi guys, thank you for watching up until this point. I know that was kind of different today. I just wanted to try doing something relaxed and something more reflective, and then I got drawn to just going outside and filming, so that maybe seemed weird, but I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts on it. Was it strange? You can tell me if it was too weird, because I will happily take constructive criticism, but thank you for watching and I'll see you guys next time.